Just a short list of some of the terms and acronyms related to BI and data warehousing. Some of the acronyms that you will see over and over are BI, which stands for Business Intelligence, ETL, Extract, Transform, and Load, and this relates to extracting data from a source or many sources, transforming it, standardizing it, and loading it into one or more destinations, typically a data warehouse. So we extract from many sources, one or more sources, and change values, data types, etc., and then load it into, typically into a data warehouse. So DW, data warehouse, KPI, key performance indicators, and then a couple of other acronyms and terms that you need to be familiarized. We're not going to go over each and one of them, but I'm going to try to cover most of these concepts throughout the presentation. So what is business intelligence? And this question it's a hard question to answer in a few words. I bet that if your manager or somebody in your organization asks you, so what is business intelligence? What is business intelligence? And try to define this, you'll find yourself sometimes like stuttering or just trying to find the words that best describe what business intelligence is. So I have searched around a couple of books, websites, and I found this interesting definition put out by the International Data Corporation. And this was on a case study they did. So I found this nice little paragraph that I think encompasses what business intelligence is. And from this paragraph, we can derive certain keywords. And if we put these keywords in a nice, concise sentence, we can define business intelligence as culture, processes, and technologies to improve decision-making for stakeholders. So again, these are three important parts in the BI. Culture, because you need to have a culture of analysis, right? You need to have an organization in which people ask questions and want to find the root cause of issues and want to find the best solutions or best answers to certain questions in the organization. So it's kind of a culture of analysis. Also processes. Organizations that embark into a business intelligence journey are those that have processes that are well-defined and well understood, or that are trying to understand or trying to define those processes appropriately. If you have no grasp of what your processes are, then it will be very difficult to accomplish BI. Also, technology. That's the other big piece in this. So you may have the culture, may have the right set of processes and or direction, but if you don't have the right technology, then you're not going to be able to have a successful BI. And think of this as building blocks upon each other, right? So you cannot have one without the other. And this is all geared toward improving decision making for your stakeholders, your decision makers, your managers, directors, etc., or a CEO as well. Sometimes to understand what something is, I find it very useful to understand what it is not. And see, these are some of the misconceptions about business intelligence and data warehousing. So if we put do a little comparison of what it is not and what it actually is, we can see some certain topics here. So for example, some people think that BI is just an application, and it is not. It's really a solution. It is not like a program where you have a single input and probably a single output, but it is in turn a solution. It may be made up of several applications, several different inputs, and several outputs, several interfaces where people can extract information from. It is not a tool, but it is a suite of tools. So there's no tool that's going to give you BI. And I'll repeat that. There's no one tool that will enable you to accomplish business intelligence. You're gonna see that vendors will have a suite or a stack of products that you'll be able to accomplish certain tasks on the different layers of business intelligence. So it's typically a suite of tools. It is not a department itself, but it is a cross-functional team. It's an interdepartmental team. There's no such thing as the business intelligence department, and the reason is because you need to have a cross-functional team from different departments that represent different areas of the business, and that is a very, very important thing to take in consideration, because it is not a product from IT, it is not a product from finance, it is not a product from a single department. It has to be a cross-functional departmental thing. So that's very important. It is not a project. It is a continuous process. The reason it's not a project is because projects, by definition, have a beginning and have an end. So business intelligence, it is not appropriate to say the business intelligence project, and I always try to make an effort not to use those words together, the business intelligence project. And the reason is because business intelligence, once you start business intelligence, it's like knowledge. You never end acquiring new knowledge. Every day you acquire new and new knowledge. So it's a continuous process, and along that process, you will find that you may be doing smaller projects within that continuous process, right? So you can have projects with a specific date and time and deliverables, but those will not be the project itself, the whole business intelligence project. So it is not a report base, it is a knowledge base. There's a big misconception also, in which people sometimes refer to BI or data warehousing as to a big repository of reports. But it is really a knowledge base. It is this repository of information that anyone in your organization can tap. So it's not just limited to reports. It is not an archive, but it's really actionable information. Big misconception about data warehousing is that it is just a big dump of old data that nobody cares about. So it is more than that. It is yes, you may do a big dump of data, but from this data, you have to put it in a way, model this data in a way that you can derive some information from which you can act upon. And again, it is not an IT service, but it's in a business asset. Big thing that you need to be aware, and you have to kind of do an effort personally for those of you who are involved in IT and your developers out there. Don't try to own this. This shouldn't be owned by IT. This should be this needs to be looked at as a solution by the business and for the business, not an IT solution